1.
All right, so what's the distribution? Where the data is. Or the way we say it, just to help us recall, is where the data is. So if I had a bunch of numbers, and then I've got like a small number, let's call that 1, let's call that 2, let's call that 3. Mr. Priest group, go. They were pretty much staying the same. How much progress are they making with division? Okay. All right, so distribution, or where the data is. If I wanted to find the range of my distribution, because that's more or less what a distribution is when you think about it, because a range includes all the data, right? The whole distribution. How do I find the range of this? Okay, so my largest score was 3, my smallest score was 1. So my range of my data, the largest one was 3, the smallest one was 1, would be 3 minus 1 equals 2. What about my median? Where's my median for the set? And how do you know that? It's in the middle because I have 1, 1, 1, 2. So those can be crossed off basically. And then all my other numbers left behind, I'll cross off a 2, and I'm left with a 2 in the center. So my median, or my middle, would be equal to 2. And what we're really going to be talking about, oh wait, I didn't talk about mode. What does mode mean? Most frequent. Okay, so which one of these scores, 1, 2, or 3, occurred most frequently? And everyone sees that, right? And today what we're going to be thinking of is mean, or the average. One way to think of the mean is as a fair share. What do I mean by that? Fair share. So another way to think about mean is if you added all the numbers together, which remember is the first step of finding the mean, and then you gave each score an equal amount, then they would all have a fair share. Just like if you were sharing a pizza, cake, cupcakes, any of that kind of stuff. You know, remember all the food problems that we always do? And we always say if you have 5 people and only 4 pizzas, how much does each person get? So we have to divide them out to get a fair share. So what's my total here if I put everything together? Okay, I have 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2 plus 2? So that would be 6. And here I would have 1. And what's my total for this column? 3, because there's just 1, 3. So with my mean, recall that we add all of the numbers together. So what's 1 plus 6 plus 3? Okay, then how many numbers did I have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I have 10 total and there's 5 different possible, like 5 different, well, these are scores. So let's pretend that each one of these represents a different student's score. So if I wanted to equally share the total, what would I have to divide by? I divide by 5 because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different numbers. So what is 10 divided by 5? Okay. Now let's think about this graphically. I see that I've got a graph with a 1, 3 different sections, and then 1 section. What would I have to do to make all these sections the same height? Okay. Well, I can see my graph here doesn't quite work. But if there were 5 people, here's a different graph. If there were 5 scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in other words, to put them all out side by side, then my fair share would be 2, and they would all be the same height, right? I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students, and they all have the exact same amount. Well, today we're going to be trying to think about this as not only a fair share, but the mean can also be a balance point. What tools have I given you so far? I've given you a ruler, Unifex cubes, which is the fancy word for these. Let's just call them the cubes. And then I also gave everyone some tape, and you see that I have these taped, right? So I want you guys to take a little bit of time, and I want you to tape it at the 1 and at the 11, okay?